Hi, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Melissa, Tranquille life coach and founder of Peak Living with Mel. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Right now it's 7:30 p.m. in the UK. Whichever part of the world you will be when you will be watching this video, I welcome you. For those who will be able to join live, I welcome you. Tonight's video is about fear. The topic is discover my top 3 secrets to overcome fear. Before I get into it, let me just share just for 1 minute what is it I do. What I do is I help people to find clarity on their goals and to overcome some of the barriers that they face that prevent them from reaching those goals, such as limiting beliefs, misaligned values, negative self-talk, low self-esteem or confidence. But there's one thing that stops people sometimes from reaching their goals. And this may be knowingly or unknowingly. And that thing is fear. And what is fear? It's an emotion that we feel whenever we perceive danger or threat. And the shocking thing is that fear can be good. That's the shocking thing about it. How can it be good? Let me just share 3 simple ways. Number 1, fear can be used to help you to build courage. Take, for instance, you have a presentation to give. And perhaps it's your first time. Perhaps it's not your first time. For even persons who have experience presenting to thousands and thousands of people will tell you that they still feel that those butterflies in their stomach before they get up there. But because of that fear that they tend to feel before that presentation, they prepare themselves properly and they muster the courage. However they find that courage, whether it's through motivational videos, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through relaxation techniques, whatever it is that they use to find the courage that they need to overcome that fear. So that fear that they felt pushed them to find the courage. And if you're joining live, just say hello in the chat, comment below so I can see who is live. Because unfortunately, when we're on the live Facebook calls, I can't see who has joined unless you type in the chat box or comment below the video. So yes, fear can also be used to keep you safe. Let's say, for instance, if someone is looking outside your property, and because of the fear you feel, or even the fear of that happening to you, you secure yourself. You have the house alarm system. You ensure all your doors and windows are locked before you go to bed because you fear someone breaking and enter. So here, fear is constructive. It's being used to help you to keep safe. Another third thing is that fear can be used to teach us something. What do I mean? Someone who is afraid of being attacked will take self-defense classes. And we've seen so many women now, no matter the ages, taking self-defense classes because they want to be able to defend themselves if something like that were to happen. Some of them too, knowingly and consciously, know that they fear being attacked. Thank you, David, for joining. Welcome to tonight's video. So here we see that fear can be used to teach us something, to give us courage, and to keep us safe. So if fear isn't all that bad, then why does it send so many of us into a deep, dark hole? Ponder on that question. If fear isn't all that bad, why does it send us into that deep, dark place? And before I get into that, let me share a story. You know I love stories. If you've been following my videos, I'm sure you do look out for my stories. Let me share a story. It's taken from, make sure I get the name right, Karen Salmanson. It's her book on how to be happy, damn it. And it's called Dope on a Rope. I'll try my best to remember this story, but it's a story about a criminal who committed a crime, obviously. And he was taken to the king for his punishment. And the purpose of this story is to show you is to inspire you to overcome fear. And when he was presented before the king said to him, you have 2 options. you have two options, two forms of punishment to choose from. One, you could be hanged, or two, you could take what's behind that big, dark, scary iron door. What do you think he chose? He could be hanged, or he could take what's behind the big, dark, scary iron door. Of course, he chose to be hung. So as he was being bent in the process to be hung, and the noose was being slipped around his neck, he turned and he said to the king, out of curiosity, what is behind that big, dark, scary iron door? And the king said, oh, funny you should ask, because I offer everyone the same choice, and nearly everyone chooses the rope. So the criminal said, so tell me, what's behind that door? I'd really like to know. I won't tell anyone, obviously, and he's showing the noose around his neck. Do you know what the king replied? Behind that door is freedom. Ponder upon that. Why? Because people are so afraid of the unknown that they immediately choose the rope. And that's what fear really is. We are so afraid of the unknown that we choose what seems to be the easy way out. And that easy way out may be a way that is quite harmful to us. Thank you, David. It is the truth. So what do we really need to do then? What we need to do is monitor how we react to that fear. So I want to ask you folks, what problem do you have with fear in your life? How has fear been holding you back? You know, Napoleon Hill says that fear is the arch enemy of mankind. And he presented some glaring examples of some of the things that we fear. And I really wanted to read it tonight. I'm just going to go through 5 examples. This is what Napoleon Hill says from the book Wishes Won't Bring Riches. We fear poverty in the midst of an overabundance of riches. So even the wealthy have that fear of being poor or poverty coming upon them. We fear criticism when there are no critics save that which we set up through our own imaginations. We fear old age, whereas we should accept it as a medium of greater wisdom and understanding. We fear death when we know it is inevitable, therefore beyond our control. We fear failure, not recognizing that every failure carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit, meaning you could learn from the failure. And we feared the lightning until Franklin and Edison and a few other rare individuals who dared to take possession of their own minds proved that it is nothing but a form of energy which can be harnessed and used for the benefit of mankind. Taken from page 26. These are some of the things that we fear. What about you? Perhaps you've never thought about it. What are you fearful of? Perhaps you feel fear, but you've never reflected upon what is it that you fear. So what are the things that you fear? Do you fear committing yourself to a relationship because you're afraid to get hurt? Do you fear having children because you think you won't be a good enough mom or dad? Perhaps because of how you grew up. Do you fear putting yourself out there, being visible for your business, working on your branding, because you're afraid of being seen as imperfect? You're afraid of making mistakes or being seen as vulnerable? Do you fear change? So you're stuck in your comfort zone. And I have a wonderful video that had over 2,000 views on breaking out of your comfort zone. If that's your struggle, I invite you to check that video out. What is it that you fear? Search yourself and find the answer to it. That's the first step. You need to find the answer to what it is that you fear. Because what fear does, fear limits you. It limits your vision. It prevents you from taking on challenges. It hinders your personal growth and development. And when you feel fearful, how do you react? Think of it. You become stressed. You become overwhelmed. You become less confident, reclusive, afraid. To the point where you can give up on that dream, or give up on that project, or give up on that goal because you're afraid, because of fear holding you back. So I want to ask you, the viewer, wherever you are in the world, how long are you going to continue to allow fear to hold you back? Fear is an emotion, and you will feel fear. You will feel it, yes. Are you surprised to hear me say this? If you have ever heard of any teaching where they're going to teach you how not to feel fear, run from it. Because you will feel fear. What is important is, how will you respond to that fear? How are you going to respond to the fear that you feel? And now I will share with you my top 3 secrets to overcome fear. And my first one is, question that fear. Every fear has an origin. What is the origin of your fear? If you're someone who's fearful of committing to a relationship, what is the origin of that fear? Perhaps you may discover that the origin of your fear. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you for joining. It's great to have you here. And please go back, watch what you've missed. There's an inspiring story, the dope on the rope. An inspiring story on how to overcome fear. I can guarantee you will love it. So right now I'm giving my top 3 secrets to overcome fear. And the first thing is to question the origin of that fear. Like I was saying, if you're afraid of committing to a relationship, why? What's the origin of that? Perhaps you may discover that it has its roots in a past experience. Maybe the home you grew up in. Maybe a failed relationship you had. What is the origin of that fear? There was once a time in my life I feared being raped. From the age of 12, I lived with that fear for a very long time in my life. And that was because of my abusive past. What is the origin of your fear? That is the first top secret. Question that fear. And you have to really search yourself and be honest with yourself. And sometimes in doing so, in facing it, that's like confronting your fear. And like my husband always says, when you face what you fear, you become fearless. When you question the fear, you confront it. And in confronting it, you may discover some scary things. Meaning, you may discover some things you need to be healed of. Hi, Miski. Thanks for joining. So great to have you here. And I encourage you to watch the beginning of the video. You will be inspired by the story I shared. And we're discussing the top 3 secrets to overcome fear. So question your fear. I encourage you to do so. That's the first step. The second step is to use self-talk. When you've questioned the fear, you've discovered the origin of your fear and how to deal with it, whether you need healing, whether you need to develop yourself, like I taught in the beginning of the video, how fear can be used for good. Because of what you fear, you realize, hey, I need to get training. I need to become more educated in this area. I need to work on my courage. So you found out the origin of that fear and you will know exactly how to deal with it. The second thing is to use self-talk. There are times when the fear comes and you literally, I do it. And like I've always said in all of my videos, I'm not the kind of person who teaches something and doesn't practice it. So when I tell you that it works, it works. It's one thing to have a book and study it, and that's wonderful for the information and the knowledge. But it's beautiful when you take what you've learned and you apply it. You practice it. And then when you practice it, you realize the benefits of it. That's right, Sasha. Positive self-talk. That's right. It works. I literally talk to myself at certain times. If I have to do something, it's a new challenge. Melissa, you can do it. Apply yourself. Focus. And you have to keep your mind focused on the positive. And yes, there are folks out there that will tell you about this positive talk. But it's a whole lot better rising up every day and focusing on the positive aspect of life and always hoping for a positive outcome than focusing on the negative. Because negativity will never get you anywhere. In fact, negativity will stir the fear that you feel. The very fear that you're trying to overcome. So use self-talk. And Cameron Atka, he says, when you're using self-talk, from Cameron Atka, Self-Talk Your Way to Success, he says, it must be short, it must be concise, specific, to the point. I am responsible for the life that I create. So you motivate yourself. Use positive self-talk and you talk that fear out. Perhaps you're afraid of speaking in front of a crowd. I have a message that wants to be heard. I have something of valuable to say. I can do it. And it's amazing just speaking those words aloud. It's amazing the impact that it has upon your brain. That immediately it starts working with you. And you forget the fear. And the third thing I want to share is have faith. Yes, have faith. Just like Napoleon Hill says, fear is the arch enemy of mankind. Faith, I would like to say, is mankind's best friend. Discover how do you find your faith. Now, some persons, they build their faith through inspirational videos, inspirational stories, speaking with other persons and sharing. Some persons build their faith through prayer and through that spiritual connection with God. You need to discover how you build your faith and build your faith and believe for better outcomes in life. Because what fear does is it limits your vision and it lowers your expectation that all you can see is the negative outcome. What fear does is that the prediction of your future, it's always negative. And this is why it is essentially important to have faith for better outcomes in life. So I encourage you, my friends, discover how do you build your faith. I'm not here to tell you how to do it, but for you to search yourself and find it out, because we're all different. I build my faith through prayer. But how do you build your faith? I build my faith also through inspirational stories. I'm so inspired when I hear other people's stories and how it worked out for them. It encourages me. It inspires me. How do you build your faith? What inspires you? And you fall on that to overcome your fear. Now remember, like I said, the aim is not for you not to feel fear. I'm sorry for using double negatives, but I had to use it for emphasis. If there's any training out there that says, I'm going to teach you how not to feel fear, run from it. Because fear is an emotion we cannot run from. Very good, Sasha. Very good, through your relationship with Christ. And you keep building on that. And you use that when the fear comes to chase it away. To get rid of it. And what was my last point? Yes. So I was saying, Discover how you build your faith. And remember that it is not about not feeling fear. That was my last point. It's not about that. Because you must feel fear. It's an emotion. You're in a relationship and you're going to get married. You feel that fear coming because you're committing yourself for a lifetime. It doesn't mean you don't love your partner. It's a normal emotion. But what's important is, how do you respond to that fear? How do you respond to that emotion? Do I kick and run? Do I drop it all and run? Or do I face, why am I feeling this? Perhaps I really want it, but it's the fear of the unknown. I want it to work out so much. What is it that you fear? Write it down. What are some of the things that you fear? How has fear been holding you back in your life? How has fear been holding you back in your business? You've been working hard in your business, but fear has been holding you back, and you know that you need to put yourself out there. You need to get visible. You need to connect with your customers. How has fear been holding you back in your health? I'll share a short story. When I was in Paris and I had 20 kilos to lose, I was 89 kilos. And I remember when I joined the gym and I struggled with comparing myself to others, that I left the gym. When I just started jogging on the road, I had stopped after a few days because fear was holding me back. Everyone was looking at me. And in that instant, fear was holding me back. The fear of being seen for how I look, how I appear to individuals, what they think of me. But now I say to you, don't worry about what they think about you. What's important is, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And once that became clear in my mind, I stuck with it. Till there was a time I started getting encouragement when I would jog on the streets. Keep it up, keep it up. So I encourage you right now. Discover how fear has been holding you back. Write it down and confront it. And use my top 3 secrets. Question that fear, the origin of that fear. You go to the root of it, because every fear has an origin. It originates from somewhere, that emotion. Then you use the positive self-talk. You deal with it, then you use your positive self-talk to face whatever you're going to face. Whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's family goals, whether it's business goals. You use that self-talk. You motivate yourself, even when you don't feel like it. There are times you have to do it when you don't feel like it, because you have to have that power over your mind. You know, I read from a book somewhere, and I just can't remember which book it was. Forgive me, I can't remember the author. But he said, if we were aware of how powerful our thoughts were, we would never think a negative thought again. I have to try to get that author's name. It's not my quote. We would never think a negative thought again. So you have to take that power and control over your mind. And that's what positive self-talk helps you to do. That's what self-affirmation helps you to do. So that you can make that shift, a shift in your thoughts, and put your mind in the direction that you want it to be. And lastly, the third top secret is, use your faith. Have faith for better outcomes in life. Things will work out for you. But you need to have faith. Because if you keep believing that things are never going to work out, it probably won't. So you need to start believing. What are your goals? And after you've gone through these top 3 secrets, these top 3 steps, then you clear on your goal, you make a plan, and you take action. And be flexible, modify that plan if you have to. And stop allowing fear to hold you back in your life. You deserve success. And you know that I'm a person, I focus on holistic success. It's not just about being successful in your business. Because what is it worth to you to gain all the money in the world and lose your family, lose your children, or lose your wife or your husband, or lose your health? So we should always aim for that balance in our life. This is true success. And I want to leave you with this quote. It's a quote by Paulo Coelho. Remember your dreams and fight for them. You must know what you want from life. There is just one thing that makes your dream become impossible, and it's the fear of failure. So you have your dream. Don't give up on your dream, whatever that dream is. Fight for it. And when fear shows its ugly head, as it will, because remember, it's not about stopping fear. It's about knowing how to respond to fear. The right response to that fear. So that you can use that fear in a positive way to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Yes, I'm afraid of speaking on camera. You use that fear to give you courage. You use that fear to stimulate your desire to go and get training. How do you respond to that fear? That is what it's about. And that's what I want to leave you with tonight. I'm sure it has given you a different perspective about fear. It's not all that bad. It's just how we respond to it. And it's because persons have a poor response to fear why we end up in that deep, dark hole. And we become stressed, overwhelmed, anxious. And then it goes to the extreme where some persons suffer with depression, unfortunately. Because they have that poor response to fear. But use it. Use it for a more positive outcome in your life. I feel that fear right now, so I'm going to get the education and training that I need. I'm going to practice and prepare. I'm going to pray more. I'm going to fast so that I could build my faith. Or perhaps I need to focus on my personal growth and development. I need to go on that journey of self-discovery and go to the root of that fear and get healing. Use that fear, respond to that fear in a positive way. It's a choice that you make. And only you, my dear friends, can make that choice. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking till the end. Sasha, David, Miski, thank you so much. And for those of you who will be watching afterwards, thank you for watching afterwards. And I hope that you'll get the same value out of this teaching. And by the way, you can hop over to my website, www.peaklivingwithmel.com. On my website, you'll find some resources just for you. I have a gratitude ebook, gratitude journal, a self-help ebook with over, I think, 200 or 300 tips, time management. So hop over to my website. And there are also blogs that you can read to inspire you some more. And don't allow fear to hold you back. I wish you success in all your goals, in all your desires. Continue to feel confident and motivate yourself even when you don't feel like it. And make the choice to respond to fear in a more positive way that will get you closer to your goals. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye for now.